to my channel. It's Mercedes, and this is my dad. His name is Gabriel. I'll be interviewing him today with our 21 questions video. Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go. I'm ready, yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay. First I'm going to start off with how about you tell them, like, kind of your background, what you've done, like, where you were born, all this other cool stuff that you want people to know.
Kind of like an interview. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Gabriel Gonzalez. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan, born in 1975. My parents were Jose Gonzalez and Juanita Garcia. Left Saginaw in 1989, moved down to Ohio. I joined the military in 1994. Spent 22 years. Mercedes was born in 1999. All right. Been all over the world. Did 3 tours in Korea. Been stationed in Texas, Missouri, Florida, Colorado, England, and Germany. And now I work for the Army Corps of Engineers here in Detroit, Michigan. And, life's pretty good. Could be better. Still adapting to a civilian life, but that's where we are now. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty much, summarizing
Cool.
who I am.
So next I want to ask you on where you came up with my name from. Like, what brought up my name? Who did you name me after? What's the real juice? What's the tea? Come on, what's the tea? Because I've been wondering, and everyone else has been wondering too.
Do I have to be honest?
Everyone thinks you named me after the car because you couldn't afford it.
Do I have to be honest?
Yes, you have to be honest.
Oh, man, so
It's an interview.
All right, so when I was in high school, I knew you'd put me on the spot.
That's only the first question.
The sweetest girl that I knew, her name was Mercedes Cruz. And I picked on her for her name because I'm like, wow, who would name their kid after a car?
Oh my god.
And after knowing her and getting to know her, I was like, you know what? Someday when if I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Mercedes. And
I think I'm gonna name my future daughter Miranda after one of my good friends.
yeah.
Or Serena or something.
So that's how the name came up, but I said, it has a good ring to it, Mercedes Gonzalez. It's unique, it's beautiful, and no matter what way you say it, Mercedes or Mercedes, it catches you.
Okay, next I'm gonna ask you, if you could go back and change one thing, what would it be?
I wouldn't change a thing.
At all?
Nope.
Nothing? Alright.
Nope, I think that we all serve our purpose here in this life, and it's a journey, and nothing's to be regretted or anything like that. So we are where we're supposed to be and do certain things at certain times. So that's what I believe. I wouldn't change a thing.
All right, good answer. How do you feel about your overall health? Honestly.
Okay, it could be better. I mean, anybody can be better. We can do different things and treat our bodies better. But I mean, happiness is the main goal in life. So if you like to eat, you eat. If you like to drink, you drink.
If you like to smoke weed, smoke weed. Happy
like
420. Oh, just kidding. It's not even 420. But happy belated 420.
Yeah, but I believe that. I honestly believe that people who stress out too much about, oh, I need to be this way, or I need to look a certain way, or be a certain way. It's not constructive. You got to be happy with who you are and what you do.
Okay, so moving on to how do you feel about your job?
Well, I love my job. I mean, it pays the bills, and
Do you
able
really
to
love
do.
your job?
I don't think anybody really loves working.
I love my job at Bakersfield.
You may love your job, but you may not love working.
I hate working. I want to be a housewife so bad. You're right.
So
I'm ready for my time to be a housewife.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So, I like my job and the fact that it makes money and able to do cool things and take care of, go on trips and go to games and concerts and things like that. Do I want to work forever? Absolutely not. Maybe another 10 years.
Maybe in another 10 years I'll have the money for all that kind of
Yeah, I'm done. 10 years. Count me out.
All right. Well, that brings me to the next question. What do you feel is one of your biggest accomplishments
Having my
in your
baby
life?
girl, raising a daughter, single dad in the military. So
You know what's funny? I was when I was writing these questions, I was thinking, I'm like, he's gonna say it's me. I know he's gonna say it's me.
absolutely, and I'll
He
explain
always
why.
does.
And I'll explain why. It's because, when you came to live with me, you didn't want to associate with being Latino. You didn't
There's a story behind that.
You didn't like.
Everyone who's closest to me knows exactly why I hated the idea of that I was Latina, but no, I'm loving it. I'm waiting for my womanly curvy body, but that's probably never gonna happen because I'm probably gonna be petite for the rest of my life.
And then we're going to something else. So, to do that and raise a strong, independent young woman that's the biggest accomplishment of my life. And now to get her to acknowledge that she is Native American, that's the
I
challenge.
know I'm Native American, but you don't gotta put it on everything.
I'm just saying. That's like to be a Native American woman, and because we're not from Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 of our grandparents were born in Texas. Grandpa Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
your great grandfather was born in Mexico. So, Texas, New Mexico, northern Mexico was Native American. Texas used to be a part of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the land that we're from, embrace that. Embrace that. Look at our noses for crying. Look at the complexion, the noses.
Let's zoom in. Look at our noses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, they're so similar.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad about it. I have my dad's nose.
So, greatest compliment. There you go. My baby right here.
Okay. How did you meet Terry?
I met her. She texted me one night, and I was riding my bike downtown, and I met her at a place called Small Plates, and she was with her cousin.
I know where that's at.
Yeah, right there on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Or Randolph,
Randolph, I think.
Yep. Downtown Detroit. I kept ghosting her for a few weeks, and then finally met up with her, and we had so much in common. She's my best friend.
She has the same last name as us, you guys. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, she's my
And
best.
her son has the same name as my dad, so it's even crazier.
Yeah. My best friend. We've been through our ups and downs, of course, but we're doing well. So yeah, that's how we met.
All right. Well, when did you find out you were in love with her?
God, you're asking some pretty deep questions.
That's the point.
I don't know. I was going through a really tough time, with Grandpa passing. So I know during that time where I knew that she was there for me, and she was going through my stuff,
With
my
you.
ups and downs and things like that. And I realized, I said, man, it's a strong woman to deal with all this stuff, and to still be there for me. And that's when that's when I realized, I said, this woman loves me, and I love her, in return, because nobody's ever been there for me like that.
Well, when do you think you guys are going to get married?
Got to make it through the first year.
You guys are almost through the first year, though, right?
August 11th is the first year, so
Ooh, so exciting!
let's get past that.
Well, technically, if you want to technically speak, because didn't you guys start off as friends first, and then
No.
you guys started dating? Oh,
No,
I thought you
no.
guys did.
It was straight.
Fair enough. Okay.
Oh.
All right. TMI. Do you guys want babies?
Well, we can't have
Obviously, when you did that, that means something.
babies. We can't have babies
Why?
because we're in our 40s.
So,
I'm going to be 44.
people have babies in their 40s all the time.
We can't have babies unless we adopt.
Adopt. Do you guys want to adopt?
We're having a good time right now. We'll cross that road later on.
All right. Fair enough.
I'm not opposed to it.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's a loaded question, young one. Hopefully someplace warmer. The boat. living on a lake. Um, graduated, maybe going for my PhD. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't think it's good to set limits where I see myself. I don't. I'm just a goal-driven person who keeps on just driving. So I'm not going to set any limits.
Okay, well, where do you see me in 5 years?
You in 5 years. You will be on your way to be famous. Very famous.
That'd be cool.
You just keep on doing what you're doing, and people will notice your work ethic, your personality, and it's got to stay positive. So there you go.
All right. Well, what's your biggest regret?
Hmm.
And if you don't want to answer that one, I have another question.
I'll answer it. Let me see. Biggest regret?
Because I know that gets really touchy with some people.
Well, I don't know. People can look at regrets as in like, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I'd done this, or wish I didn't do that, and I wish I was closer with my father. He was very hard, but that's my dad. He grew up in a different time. And he's a product of his environment. But I just wish that, maybe, I could have swallowed my pride a little bit and been closer with Dad. So.
But if you think about it, you guys were pretty close.
Yeah, we used to argue.
No matter how many differences you had, you guys were always close.
It's like the same person arguing with each other like this.
That's how you know
I
you're
think he kind of liked it.
I think you kind of liked it. I think you kind of thrived on it.
Yeah.
Because you both are hot-headed.
Yeah, I think times that we argued that he would hang up the phone sometimes like, that's my kid. Yep. So. No.
That's so funny. Okay, well, what was your favorite home out of all the places you have lived?
Colorado.
Colorado, really?
Dewhurst.
What about Florida?
I wasn't home. I didn't buy that house.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, just home places you've lived.
No, I mean, the coolest place
Colorado was pretty fun, though.
The coolest place I would say was probably in Germany when I lived in that bottom floor. You walked out and you had that terrace and yard.
Oh, I remember that because we used to play football all the time.
Mm-hmm. But Colorado, because it was ours, I'd take care of the grass and, look at or compare my grass to Sean Guilfoyle's across the street. He used to lay on the grass and cut his grass with scissors, I swear, right around his tree.
That sounds like something he'd do.
Yes. But
hi, Sean. I hope you're watching this.
But even like to sit out in the mornings.
I want to tag him in it.
Even to sit out in the mornings and sit on the porch and look at Pikes Peak.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had the best view in the neighborhood.
Because of my window.
Well, your window and the porch.
The porch, yeah. It was pretty.
Besides that tree getting in the way of Pikes Peak right across the street.
That brings me to, on my memories, our live feed popped up when I ran out into the hail.
Yes.
Guys, I was so fat then. I wasn't fat, but I was definitely a lot bigger than what I am now.
Oh my God. You're a beanpole.
I'm like a stick now, but compared to what I was 3 years ago. Oh. Girl, oh
Girl
no.
needs to eat.
Girl, oh no. Okay, well, what's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby right now, it's strange that you asked that because I was just talking to Terry about this. When Grandpa was passing, I lost interest in everything that I did. Everything, every single hobby, every single thing that I love to do. And then I realized, that, well, I'm still alive and life needs to go on and, I need to get back to normal and, find out what I like to do. So right now, I would say my favorite hobby is going to the gym.
I haven't gone to the gym in
Look at
like
this
2
thing.
months.
This thing, 43 years old. Come on now, I'll be 44. Forget about it. Come on now.
I'm gonna attach a photo of when he was in his 20s and 30s.
I can't even flex my chest.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I haven't gone to the gym in like 2 months, you guys, and I keep getting charged for the membership. I just need to cancel it, but I don't want to have to go in and cancel it. Like, I want to be able to cancel it over the phone, but I have to, like, physically go in and cancel
Just
it.
go in there and cancel it.
But they're going to be like,
and who cares?
why are you canceling? You're going to get fat or something. I don't know. They're going to do something.
Save that money.
They're going to make me feel bad. They're going to try and keep me in it. Oh, we're sorry to lose you. I hope we can do better for you in the future. Or something like that. I don't know. Shout out to Planet Fitness. What's your dream car?
Dream car. Depends. Okay, so I think my dream car. I want a Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah, I want a Porsche. If I stay in SUV, it'd be a Grand Cherokee SRT. I love the way the
Is that for
muffler sounds.
off-roading?
Yeah, and it's fast too. If I were going to choose a sports car, it'd probably be a loaded out Camaro. But I think a Porsche. I'm not sure what model because I'm not really good with models.
Yeah,
But
I know
I've
nothing
seen-
about cars. I just know what I want, and I know what I want to drive.
Yeah, pretty sweet. But if I were to do a pickup truck, it'd be definitely a Ram.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just like Sean.
No, not just like Sean.
And then what's your dream job? Well, what was your dream job growing up if you don't have one now?
Dream job. I like to own a business.
Tell them about that.
I
And
don't
look in the
know.
camera when you talk.
I'm not sure which way I want to go with this business, so I'm unsure. I know that I want to do things for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to work for the government. Don't want to work for anyone. And I want whatever business that I decide to do to have family.
Mm-hmm.
That we could all become. Well, because Garcia family, Garcia side, they're business owners and things like that. So I think it's in our blood. Thanks to Grandpa Garcia. And I think it'll happen. I just gotta really figure out exactly
I
what
feel
I
like
want
we
to do.
come from I feel like I come from a successful lineage,
You do.
despite a couple of bumps, but
No, you absolutely do. So Grandpa came from Mexico. He sacrificed a lot to for his daughters, which are our aunts and your grandmother, and for the purpose of being prosperous and starting businesses, and it's something that we can continue. So I always talk about like when I was young that Grandpa took us up north to Sault Ste. Marie, the Sioux Locks, right?
mm-hmm.
And here you go, 30-something years later, 35 years later, I'm in charge of the security for Sioux Locks.
That's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal, you guys.
So how fate and things like that work is very strange. So yeah, very random trip that we took when I was young, and to what I do now.
All right. I honestly have been I always think about on and off about businesses and what I could possibly open up because, I mean, growing up, now that I think about it, I've always wanted my own salon because, I used to always talk about it all the time, wanting to go to beauty school. I never did that because I kind of fell out of it after so many years because, I don't know, I fell into this patch where I felt like I couldn't do anything because the people around me were basically making me feel like I didn't own up or didn't live up to anything other than my dad. So, I just kind of gave up that dream, but I've always stuck with my acting and modeling dream. Now that I think about it, like ever since I was like 5 or 6 years old, always wanted to do that thing. So
And she's done very good at it too. Won a won a modeling contest in Florida, and then in England they absolutely loved you. They wanted to sign you on for.
and I couldn't even take it because we had a PCS out of there.
Yep. So you got it in you, girl. Just stick with it.
Well, what's your dream home? Like, describe your perfect home and where it would be located.
Good question.
Details.
My dream home would be in the mountains. I always had this dream about wearing a flannel, cutting wood for the fireplace.
Like Abraham Lincoln?
Ranch style house, having all the toys, ATVs, snowmobiles, living near a lake, things like that, and 3 to 4 bedroom, so that the kids can come over and the grandchildren and stay. Having that boat, pontoon.
Your hair is super red in this camera.
Focus.
I am focusing.
Focus.
You're talking about how your dream home is in the mountains and you
Yeah.
want to have a pontoon.
But if we stay in Michigan, here's the thing: is
So if your dream is to have a house in the mountains, but you also want to have a boat, would you ever move to a place like Washington or something like that with both the water and the mountains?
no, it's too cold,
Too cold? What about California?
No.
Too hot?
too liberal.
Too liberal?
Yep.
Well, where would be your perfect location?
Well, I think that
Oregon.
there's something that brought us back to Michigan. We're both born in Michigan. Our families are in Michigan.
Yeah, I'll tell you
We
what
don't-
brought us
we
back to
don't-
Michigan.
we
The
don't-
devil did.
We don't necessarily agree with or like everything that comes along with the Michigan thing, but certain areas are very beautiful. Our families are here, and I think that maybe we resist a little bit. We could live in better places besides Detroit, safer places.
Mm-hmm. That's why I moved out here to Lincoln Park.
Yeah. So
I love it out here. It's great. It's quiet for the most part. There's also a train that goes on at night. It's pretty cool.
I think here's what I want: that we have a house here in Michigan. We'll also have a house like in Florida, vacation home, so we can always escape.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where our family is. This is where our heart is. Really,
I don't really talk to the family though,
I know you don't, but you may.
for reasons.
We've been away for a long time.
I mean, there's only like 3 other people part of our family here.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
3
So-
people that actually talk to us.
Yeah.
Well, they don't talk to me. They talk to him.
Well, they barely talk to me.
But at least they do. But it's usually when they want something. I don't like that.
Next subject.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
How much?
Say 280 billion.
280 million after taxes?
Billion.
Billion? Oh, shoot.
Isn't that
That's
like,
it.
or is it 8, like the normal lottery? Is it usually million or billion?
Millions.
Million, then.
Okay. What would I do? I would do something useful. I would build a school, some kind of school for minorities, particularly, and maybe less fortunate people. I would invest half of it. Get myself a lawyer and an accountant to manage my accounts, and there's a certain dollar amount that's allowed to give family members before it's taxed. So I would give, that amount, and then the rest. Yep, we're gigging it up.
Okay. What's the worst thing you have ever experienced while in the military?
That's a deep question. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of a long answer. I don't want to keep it too long. I'm gonna try
Keep
to
it
I'm trying
details.
to abbreviate it. dealing with, I don't want to sound like a buzzword, but PTSD, toughest thing. I got diagnosed with complex PTSD because I was a cop, and PTSD is usually something that's happening in an instant. You went downrange, you went to the war, and you saw something that happened. A complex PTSD is over a duration of time. So basically, I became an adrenaline junkie, and when I wasn't able to do I got promoted myself out of doing all the sexy stuff, being on the road and things like that, and I had withdrawals, serious withdrawals, and she can contest to that, and I was very agitated and depressed, and I would sleep a lot, things like that. So that was very tough dealing with that, and not knowing what I was going through. And through the counseling that I went through, I had a Dr. Rolston back in Colorado. He was probably the very significant person in my life. Mark Rolston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You used to tell me about him all the time.
Yeah, I didn't like him at first. I just think he was full of.
He hated him at first.
I think he was full of crap, telling me this is what's going on with you. I'm like, whatever. But after I started listening to him and doing some of the things that he said, helped me out quite a bit. Helped me realize that that I needed to work on things and realize some things about myself and change some of my my behavior. So that was the toughest thing that I've been through in the military. And it lasted a few
next
years.
episode, Davion. Just kidding.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough thing, but he was a good person. I like talking to Mark.
Well, why don't you tell them, like, what was the worst thing you've ever witnessed? Like, visually.
Burning car in Germany. Mm. That's where it all started. So, me and our boy Flynn, we were on patrol, and we had to respond out to we're stationed in Germany, respond to A1 Autobahn, and responded to a vehicle accident. Guy flipped over, hit a gas line, and he ended up burning to death. And by the time we got there, he was charcoal. And then when they were lifting pieces of his body up, he was just falling apart.
I can't even imagine.
So, I think at that time it wasn't. I wasn't like, oh my God, but I think, the afterwards, the aftermath of everything and the down spiral was, took a toll. But
for those of you who aren't familiar with the Autobahn, it's literally it's a highway in Germany that has no speed limit, so you can go as fast as you want down that road in most parts of it. And a lot of professional racers do that just in their free time, and people get killed that way. And that's probably exactly what happened with that guy. He was probably racing somebody and hit somebody, or took a wrong turn, or jerked his wheel or something.
It was actually wet conditions. He hydroplaned and he hit another vehicle.
See, that's
a family, a van that had I believe it was 9 people. 9 people in it, and a lot of them went to the hospital. I'm not sure if any of them died, but he died.
Yeah. How do you feel about pit bull laws?
Pit bull what?
Pit bull laws.
Pit bulls scare me. I'm gonna lie to you.
Does my pit bull scare you?
Not yet.
What?
It's a puppy.
He's never gonna scare you.
I don't like violent breeds of dogs, but I also think that it's all about how you raise that animal. So, I don't know what laws are there about pit bulls.
Well, some places don't even allow pit bulls at all. Like,
but
if
Michigan's
you have
not like that, though.
No, there are some places in Michigan that completely ban
violent breed.
Yeah, completely ban pit bulls. Like here, I actually need to go get him registered for Lincoln Park because you have to register your pit bull here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people around me, I was scared to go get him registered at first because what if, like, hey, can't have him, you got to get rid of him. But I see a lot of people around here with pit bulls, so
I don't know enough about like the makeup of pit bulls. Mm-hmm. I hear about like their brains grow too fast. They're kind of like Rottweilers, but it's just, from what I hear, I've never really studied it or understood why that breed is so violent or how they become so violent. So
It's
I
just
really,
their owners. It all comes down from their owners. How
I
they
like,
train them, how they raise
Julian's a
them.
pit bull.
hmm And some
Um,
pit bulls are meant to naturally protect. So they're naturally going to be dominant. So if they're
part
naturally
terrier.
meant to, yes,
Part
exactly.
terrier,
They're
yeah.
part terrier, and they're meant to protect. But usually with good owners, yeah, they'll bark whenever you come up to the house because that's what they're supposed to do as guard dogs. That's why people get them, is for guard dogs. But once you like approach it like slowly, put your hand out or something, sniff you, they're like the most loving creatures on the planet. I freaking love pit bulls so much. I'm so glad I finally got one. Okay, last question. Okay. What are your thoughts about Detroit
I like Detroit.
and how it started and to where it's at now?
I don't know about the way Detroit started because I don't know enough. I wasn't here during that time or during the big comeback. But we moved here in 2017, and I didn't know anybody, so I thought the city was cool. It looked cool because it had a lot of cool spots, and I was like, wow, I visualized Detroit as being something more violent and some place where you couldn't go out.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked downtown. Got to know where to hang out, where not to hang out. Got to know the violent people.
There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah, there is. But at the same time, you got to be responsible. So for anybody who's going to be out there at 2:00 in the morning, this is Detroit. I mean, you've experienced this.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you've experienced this.
And unfortunately, I still haven't heard anything back.
Yeah, but I think if you do the right things, you avoid certain areas and you don't stay out at certain times, that you're going to be okay. Detroit's on the rise. I live at a pretty good location. You can just walk everywhere. But to complete the answer to that, I like Detroit. I think it's pretty cool. I could say that we've lived here for almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm from the D, Detroiter.
He's not from the D.
I'm not from the D, but if I pay taxes here and I pay taxes, and pay the insurance, which is outrageous, and I live downtown and I walk to work and all the other stuff, I'm gonna call myself a Detroiter from now on. So, will I live here forever? No. Lake house, somewhere.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Detroit itself, I feel like in the daytime it's not a bad place. The vibe on it and the atmosphere on it definitely changes once you hit a certain time of the night. You could definitely feel like the vibe change to like something bad's obviously gonna happen because it's dark. There's a lot of it's named like one of the capitals of the most homeless vets in America.
I didn't know
Detroit. Yeah, and it's bad, and they all come out at a certain time, and then they start harassing, and you see them all over the streets, and it's just like laying there, and it's just like they need more. I feel like they need more shelters to kind of avoid this thing, or get like a bigger shelter, because they have a shelter, and I've seen it. It's on 3rd Street. But it's so tiny, and there's so many of them that camp right outside of it because they can't get into it because of how full it is. And I feel like they just need to take one of the abandoned buildings in Detroit and be responsible with it and fund it and use it as a shelter of some kind.
Right.
But I know that costs a lot of money and all this other stuff, and you have to be careful with who you let come in, but at the same time...
You're right. You're absolutely right. But a lot of these people are mentally ill.
Yeah.
There's this guy that they call the mayor. When I was working downtown, that this guy has a retirement that he makes over $70,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he sleeps on the street.
Oh my goodness. There are a lot, and that's another thing, is there's a lot of homeless people that aren't actually homeless, and when you give them money, they'll even like pull out a wad of cash right in front of you, and it's just like, I got you. Thanks for the money. You're not getting it back.
I think the best thing to do is, like, for example, went to church yesterday and I gave money, and what they do is, I saw what they do for the homeless people and the clothes that they gather and all those stuff and giving in that way. Of course, where I live. You walk down the street, you can't walk down without being harassed 3 or 4 times.
Exactly.
Um,
Or even like by my jobs, like by Bakersfield,
Yeah.
they're always right outside, like right out front, and they're like, "Excuse me," and they'll even like they'll go as far as coming up to your car and knocking on your window and harassing you if you're sitting in your car. It's happened to me before,
yeah.
and I'm just like ignoring them, and then they go away. But
I-
they get mad. They
I-
get real mad.
I went to go get a key made. The guy walked right inside the key place and, like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I'm like, oh, man, I can't even get a key made without being approached. And you know what? And I don't know who's homeless and who's not, and who really needs money or who's going to use it for drugs. I think Tupac said it the best one time, though. Like those.
I feel like you can tell by the vibe you get from them if
Yeah.
you're like around them, if they really are going to use it for something
Right. But
responsible.
Tupac said, they don't have.
Mhm.
He says he gives money. He doesn't care if it's for, if they're going to use it for drugs, if they're using it for food or use it for shelter. He goes, it's just they don't have certain things.
Yeah.
And I get that, but I don't have Tupac's money.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and I'm sure if we all did, it would be a lot easier. And
Yeah, but a lot of people take advantage of it. Like, I've seen people down there for the last 2 years, exact same people, exact same corners, and
the other day I saw two guys fighting over a corner. One told the other one to go to a different corner, and then he started camping, and he had this like smile of accomplishment. Oh my god, I made this guy go to a different corner. Ha 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 ha! I'm gonna ask for money. It happened right in front of me. It was great. Oh no, I spilled coffee on me, man. Or just ignore that. Someone says I have a chipmunk laugh.
what?
Someone says I laugh like a
On
chipmunk.
YouTube?
No, not on YouTube. I mean, like,
Oh,
someone told me that my laugh sounds like a chipmunk. He's like, "What's that chipmunk laugh?" I was like, "I don't know. I think I got it from my dad's girlfriend."
oh yeah. Don't tell her that. She's gonna sing this.
She's gonna laugh, But yeah,
That
regardless,
was so cute though.
I love it. I think that's why I picked up on it. It's just so cute
Yeah.
and it's so like relatable. I don't know. But anyways, that's it for this video, you guys. Definitely give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. I'll do some more interview videos in the future if you guys do enjoy this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well and share this video with your friends.
Which side is it?
Yeah. Down there. Whoa. Yeah, like down there.
Oh my god, that was really bad.
Okay. That's it, you guys. Take care. Thank
Go
you for
Penn State.
tuning in. Bye.